Okay, I wanted to make this YouTube video. This is my son Ezekiel that's here with me. And he just got a seed order and he's excited about it. And he always has questions about seeds and we always have fantastic conversations. And I thought this might help everybody in my gardening community. So Zeke, tell us what you've got and what we're doing.
Hello. So I just ran through and did some quick little bit of putting together seeds into categories so they're a little bit more sane. Kind of got three things here. Got some new seeds I've ordered this year. I've got some new seeds that just arrived today I haven't even had a chance to look at. And then I have some seeds that are leftovers from previous years. We'll be going through all those just kind of together. The first thing I'm most excited about, because I like to eat them, is peas. So I have some tall telephone peas, which I've got these from Dad over there, William, and they're a good kind. Then
I think the tall telephone pole, I think those are the tallest peas there are that I know of. And they're a shell pea. You're gonna love them. You shell them out so they don't have an edible pod. Although when they're really young, you can eat the pod of any pea. But they're a shell pea. So when the peas get big, the shell will be fibrous and not that edible. The other thing is they're also called alderman pea. So if you're looking at seed catalogs, tall telephone and alderman, same variety.
Awesome. And then I got some other peas here. The packages all look basically the same. They're from Mountain Valley, which is now True Leaf Market. But I got Cascadia snap pea. Nice. I think that's the only snap pea I got was the Cascadia snap pea. You want to talk about snap peas?
Oh, I like them. They're fun. Well, they're snap peas, snow peas, and shell peas, or English peas. But snap peas, the outside of the pea gets tough, or I mean, it gets thick, and so when you eat it, it's like really crunchy, but it gets big and fat and round. Where a snow pea is going to stay flat and thin. So that's kind of the difference.
Yeah, and that's the next kind I got. I got the dwarf gray. The way this name is organized is crazy. Dwarf sugar gray pea snow. Now, if they'd reversed all the words in this, it would have made a lot more sense as snow pea gray sugar dwarf. That would have been, I don't know. And then I got mammoth melting, which is the classic Chinese sugar pea. I'm very excited about it. It's supposed to get like as big as your hand.
So. Cool. Yeah, those are good, man. Okay.
Then I got one really interesting one here. This is an herb. I got this one from Baker Creek. And it's called the toothache plant or bullseye flowers. I'd never heard of this, but I did a little reading on it, and it's supposed to have an analgesic effect on the mouth when you chew it up. Are you familiar with this at all?
No, what's it called?
It's called the toothache plant or bullseye flowers.
Huh, no, I don't know anything about it. Does it have the botanical name on it?
It's Spilanthes acmella.
Okay. No, yeah, that's cool. It'll be fun to grow it. Sounds like it's a medicinal herb if it's an analgesic. Analgesic, yeah, it says painkiller.
Oh yeah, I'm using words, aren't I?
Yeah.
Right. So next I'm kind of going into my greens here. So the first thing we're starting off with is chard. Got ruby red and bright lights.
Okay, good. Yeah. The darker the colors of plants, the more nutrition. The red ones have I don't know, what are they called? Anthocyanins or something? I'm probably saying the wrong thing, but they're the anti-cancer fighters when you start getting into red leafy greens. So that's good.
Then next on my list is cabbage. I have a couple different versions here. Got Danish ballhead cabbage.
Good.
I'm excited about because I like Denmark, and that's why I picked this one because it said Danish. I don't know anything about it. Then I got Filderkraut, which of course is the big, fun-looking, tall, up in the air one.
Yeah, we've been growing those here in northern Nevada. They're doing really well. I think they'll do good in your area too. But they're good cabbage. They're fine textured. They're not coarse and gritty and grainy. Some cabbages can be that way. You have to cook them longer. but elder
Well,
kind's good.
one question I had is because you see how tall they are and such. How does that affect their pest resistance? Do you get a lot more kind of bugs down in them, or does that tall canonical
No,
shape?
it's tight. They're tightly wrapped, so the bugs don't get in there. Our last year we had 5 kinds of cabbage up here, and we didn't do any pest control, and the pests were even among all the cabbages.
Okay.
I don't do pest control on purpose because I'm looking for genetics that don't that are not susceptible to pests. So if I'm using pest control, then I don't know which ones are.
Makes sense.
That made my students mad. At the end of the year, I showed them how to do pest control, and they're like, "Why didn't we do this from the beginning?" So, well, because we're looking for genetics. Because if you had one species out there that had a mutation, or even one plant that had a mutation, and it's like super pest resistant, we would want to let that one go to seed, and we collect all the seeds and propagate that. We want those genetics. So,
Yeah.
okay, go ahead.
Well, that funny you mentioned that. That's what I've been doing. I have a kale variety now. I'm really proud of it. Survives. It finally got cold enough that some of the leaves wilted. It had to get down to 14 degrees, and then its
Nice.
leaves. It's not dead though. Just all the big leaves wilted. But
Yeah.
I finally have a version of that. And the first year that I planted the kale, I had lots of kale that was, it was covered in bugs. It was damaged. There were some bad things going on there with it. And now that I didn't let the ones that were damaged go to seed. I cut those down. I put them in my compost. And this last year, I only had 1 or 2 of my plants that I felt like were actually impacted by anything resembling a pest. So I don't know if that means my genetics are working or if that means it was a good year for pests, but I'm hoping for the first option.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What other seeds you got?
Say what now?
What other seeds have you got? I'm excited to see them.
So I've got Sapporo giant cabbage.
Oh, let's hold that up closer. How big do they get?
So these, it says they're supposed to get between 17 and 37 pounds and up to 44 pounds in optimal growing conditions.
Well, you need to share some seeds with me.
Okay, I'll bring some up in January.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Then I got 2 kinds of free packets from the Baker Creek. As you know, I don't like lettuce. I think there's better greens to put in a salad. But they sent me some free lettuce, this Landis Winter and this red Merlot.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, those dark red lettuces, cancer fighting properties, man. You want to eat those. They're healthy.
Then also, I got one thing I'm really excited about because I really learned to love this in Oregon where it kind of grew wild. And this was dock or sorrel. And this is bloody dock. And I'm excited for that. I'm a big fan of dock. So
cool. Yeah.
then I got purple kohlrabi, which is just my favorite thing. It's so tasty. So
Nice.
good. But
Yeah.
cut it up raw, eat it like an apple.
Yeah, kohlrabi, man. They're good.
Then I got some arugula. It's another one of the True Leaf Market seeds, but got the Astro arugula. Love arugula.
Which is it just green or does it have a purple color to it? Do you remember on that variety?
I think Astro's just green.
Okay, interesting.
I think when it's ready to go to seed, it does start to get some of those purple red hues in it, though.
Okay,
From what I was seeing.
cool.
I might be wrong though. Let's see what's in this next pile. Oh yeah. So I also have golden acre cabbage. Because I think they're a nice, dependable, good little cabbage head. And we eat a lot of cabbage. I did some math, and if I ate as much cabbage as I wanted to, I'd need to grow like 80 heads of cabbage in a year to eat how much cabbage I like to eat.
Nice.
And then I got Romanesco broccoli, and that's one of the ones with the spikes. It's like the spiky broccoli.
Oh yeah, it looks like an alien.
Yeah. I would love at some point to grow some Barney flower, but I haven't been able to find somewhere with seeds for less than, 2 arms and a leg in price. So if you ever grow any, let me know. I'll come mooch off of you. Then nightshades. Obviously, I'm growing potatoes. Got my seed potato upstairs. Basically, anytime I am cooking potatoes and I like how they look or I like how they taste, I'll take some out of whatever bag I was eating and put them aside to grow in the spring. And so it's doing good. I haven't had amazing luck with potatoes here yet. Hoping next year is a little better because I know what I'm doing more now, but should be good. But as far as above ground nightshades, I've got lilac bell peppers, which are just a bell pepper that's purple. And I've got 2 different varieties of purple bell peppers. One of them are called lilacs, and one of them are just called purple. So I'm hoping those go good.
Yeah, nice.
Then I have Marglobe tomatoes. Now, this was a gift from a seed swap. And these came from the Ogden Seed Exchange, ultimately. I've never grown Marglobe tomatoes. Do you know anything about those?
Spell that.
Marglobe.
Ogden Seed Exchange. Do they have Loft House genetics?
They might. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah, neither am I. I don't know if they're a dark, a light, a red. Don't know. Then I got the big red sweet peppers because, if you're not sure your things are going to do well, get the biggest genetics you can, and then at least if it does poorly, you'll have a normal sized one. And these are supposed to get heavy, so they should be good.
Yeah.
Then as far as tomato seeds I got this year, I got the Early Girl hybrid bush tomato and the Chadwick cherry. Early Girl bush, that's a dependable favorite in this region because it's about a 65-day tomato. And then Chadwick cherries, they surprised me a little bit. They were a longer cherry tomato, so they are a cherry, not a grape. And so they do get kind of that mid, that size-ish. And they're a 70 to 90-day tomato. So I was excited to try these. They're supposed to get very dark in color, almost a black purple.
Well, that's good. The darker the color, the more nutrition on a tomato. And the more skin you have, the more nutrition. So if you're making your tomato sauce out of cherry tomatoes and you just blend them up and instead of skinning them, put them in a fancy modern blender, food processor type thing that can break the skins down, then they're still palatable and you get the more nutrition.
Yeah.
And cooked tomatoes are supposed to be more nutritious than tomatoes that are raw.
Interesting.
Which is pretty awesome. So
I then got this other kind of fancy cabbage it's like red veined with green leaves.
Oh yeah, I grew that one year. Yeah.
Yeah, Villaggio di Verona. So
nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good cabbage.
Then I got sugar pie pumpkins. We're now getting into our cucurbits here. Have sugar pie pumpkins. I was very pleased with the flavor of these. And so just baking them down, they were pretty good. In fact, I still have actually some pie mix from them in the freezer.
You know what? My students this year, they did a side-by-side. Becca and Abby did a side-by-side comparison of, I think they did about 8 or 9 different pumpkin pies, and they used different kinds of squashes. One of them was carrots, squashes, a whole bunch of, but each a different variety, and sugar pie pumpkin won. So we did a blind test, and so we tasted them, and sugar pie pumpkin was the best.
That's awesome.
Because there's all the pioneers would make pumpkin pie out of whatever they had: acorn squash, Hubbard squash, banana, all that stuff, and they're all good. I mean, they all make a good pumpkin pie, but sugar pie was the best one.
Awesome. I definitely agree. It was good. Then I got the tender green Burpless cucumber because that's kind of your basic pickling cucumber, you know.
Well, say it again. What variety?
Burpless,
Okay.
burpless, maybe that's how you say it. I don't know.
Like, it's called burpless because they make you don't burp. They don't create gas as you're eating them.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's real. The old-fashioned
Okay.
cucumbers, you'd get halfway through a cucumber and you'd start belching like you were drinking a very carbonated root beer or something.
Huh.
And so the modern varieties are called burpless because they bred that trait out of them.
Well, maybe it's the tender green part. It's the actual name of the variety, and I just was dumb and didn't know the history.
Hey, I don't know anything about that. I think you're smart.
Oh, thanks. Then I've got lemon cucumbers. Love lemon cucumbers. Lemon cucumbers, we need more of those in our lives.
Yeah, they're fantastic. It's my favorite treat in the greenhouse. The lemon
Right?
cucumber.
Yeah, when a lemon cucumber gets ripe, it takes a lot of self-control to say, oh, I'm going to take that in to my loving wife instead of just eat it out here in secret.
That's funny.
Then I got baby bear pumpkins just because of the name, because they're good. I've heard. I don't know. I haven't used a lot of them.
I don't know if I've grown those before. I mean, I'm familiar with the variety name. I don't know that we've actually grown those. I think they're just a miniature. Anyway, go on. What else you got?
Then I've got sugar baby watermelons because they're just a 75-day watermelon. They're supposed to they're supposed to get good pretty quick for a watermelon, and that's important in our growing season because I actually want to harvest some instead of looking at half-formed ones get killed by frost.
Yeah.
For the same reason, we got some of these Minnesota midget cantaloupes. I don't know if we can say that on a recording or not, but that's what it says on the package. So.
Yeah, so they're the size of a tennis ball.
Yeah.
When they ripen, and we've been ripening those here in Clover Valley. So they'll certainly ripen where you are because we have a cooler and a shorter growing season than you.
Yeah.
Should get a lot of them.
I'm excited. I love to fill a wheelbarrow. So then I got the Armenian yard long cucumber because these they're a really good pickling cucumber. Of course, if you actually let them get to a yard long, they're no longer good to eat. But they get
I don't
bitter.
think they get that long. I've grown those for over a decade, and I've never had one 3 feet long.
Really?
Yeah.
Then I got the Space Master 80. It's good. I don't know why I'm showing you the picture list.
That's a good pickler, yeah.
Then I got some early prolific straight neck squash. Now, I never tried this before, but it was suggested to me because it's a 52-day squash. It's a very quick summer squash. Yeah. So I might even be able to get 2 harvests of this in because it is under that 60-day mark.
Uh-huh. Good.
Then I've got Tiger Baby F1 watermelons, which is a 75-day watermelon. And they're supposed to get decently sized. Now there's mixed reviews on this. Some people are saying, oh, it's the best watermelon I've ever eaten. And other people saying, oh, they don't have any sugar in them at all. So I guess we'll see how they are.
Yeah, your growing conditions vary a lot. Meaning the quality of your soil, and there's just a lot of variables whether or not it makes a good melon or not.
Yeah. Then moving into our alums, I have a garlic chives, which I like. Again, I don't know what I'm showing.
Yeah, those are a perennial. So you get them going now, and then they'll come back every year. And they have a beautiful white flower on them.
And then I got chives, which are the same, but with a purple flower.
Yeah, onion chives, same thing. Purple flower.
When do you harvest those? Do you wait until it has the flower?
No, harvest them before the flower.
Okay.
You can harvest them anytime you have a green leaf, but
Okay. Then I got the then as far as traditional onions go, I got the candy hybrid, which is supposed to do well because I'm at a midday latitude. For anyone watching who doesn't know what that means, there's three kinds of onions. There's long day, short day, and midday. And it has to do with the genetic stuff in the onion about daylight and whether the days are getting longer or shorter, and what triggers the bulb of the onion to actually take on weight and expand into the kind of onion bulb that we want. Otherwise, you just end up with a leek, basically.
yeah, it's candy's a good choice for you where you are. I grew a bunch of them here last year. They're super good to eat.
That's awesome. Sorry about the bang. My cat decided to knock my watering can on the ground.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, good. Then I got the Walla Walla onion, which is very similar to the candy.
Good choice.
It's supposed to be a sweeter onion, whereas the candy is supposed to be somewhat hot, I've been told.
I don't know who told you that. That's not what I know about candy.
Oh yeah,
But
you don't
anyway,
think so?
I don't think
Okay.
so.
Then of course I got the Islas of Craig. Love
Yeah,
the Islas of Craig.
Yeah, that's the biggest onion there is.
Love them. Now these ones are technically a long day onion, so
They'll be all right.
they're up where you are. I think you're into long day territory.
I am, but I
Yeah.
think you can grow them too.
Well, yeah, but because when you grow a long day where you don't have long days,
They
what
just
what
won't-
ends up happening?
they just won't get as big.
Okay.
That's all. But you have a long enough growing season, you'll be okay.
Okay. Then I wanted to experiment with leeks because I've never done leeks before, so I got the giant Musselburgh leek. Now these are over what I generally aim for with my stuff as far as growing days, because it's 110 to 130 days. That's longer than I'm normally comfortable with. But the thing about leeks is they're frost resistant enough that they might be able to get through the first couple of frosts we have in October and grow through the warm days in November.
Nice. Yeah.
So I think we're gonna do good. Then I got Tokyo long white bunching onions. These are my go-to. Largely just because I really like the flavor and it's 70 days to maturity.
I would plant those start planting them now, and I would plant a bunch of them every 2 weeks.
Like outdoor or inside potted?
Well, I plant them every once a month throughout the year, so, and then I always have green onions in my greenhouse. So, I mean, you're just gonna have to adjust that for just during your growing season. Plant whatever your growing season is. Plant them every 2 weeks, and then once the first ones ripen, you always have new ones that are ready to eat. You always have green onions.
And so are you saying to do that outside? Like
Yeah.
go out and
Yeah, just in your outside garden.
for sure. What's a good idea for kind of clumping them? Like how far apart should you be?
I start them in a plug tray, and I put about 8 to 10 seeds in a plug, and then I pull out the entire plug and just plant the whole thing. And then when you harvest it, you just pull up the whole thing, and you have all your green onions. It's nice because then you don't have to pick one at a time. It's too tedious.
For sure. And so in this in the thing where you're saying to plant them right now, should I be starting them in a plug tray in here, then take them out and plant them before my
Yeah, I always like to transplant stuff because I keep a thick detritosphere. So planting the seeds outside, it doesn't make sense. So
Okay.
throughout your entire growing season, I'd start them in plug trays, and then when they're about 4 weeks in the plug tray, then transplant them out.
Okay, cool. Then moving into radishes now. I have 3 varieties of radishes. I guess I have 4 varieties of radishes. I have lady slippers that been growing here myself. They grow like weeds. They love it here. It's a good climate for lady slippers. Then I got 3 new varieties I'm excited to try. One of them is the pink beauty radish.
Nice, good choice.
Yeah, so I've heard that one's good. I've heard specifically they're very uniform and they are they're if they grow, you're gonna get a radish off of them, which is cool. Then the organic French breakfast, which supposed to be good, supposed to have a very mild flavor and a very soft flesh. Then a white icicle, which is supposed to be kind of in the daikon family. And in fact, one of its other names is the pearl forcing radish because it forces its way through stuff.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, those are good choices. If the radishes are too hot, then you watered them not enough. If you like to cook radishes, it takes the heat out of them. Those are some tricks about radishes. Okay, go ahead. What else you
So
got?
then the purple top white globe turnip, your favorite food, obviously.
That was supposed to be a joke. I don't like turnips. I love to grow turnips because I feed them to my sheep. And then you eat the sheep.
And then it was a pretty good turnip.
Yeah, man.
No, I did get those mostly because I have some people in my life who'd like to try turnips because they haven't learned better yet. Then I got Laurentian rutabaga,
Who
which
wants
is
to try a turnip?
Annalise.
She hasn't eaten a turnip when she was up here.
She did, and she liked it. So I don't know.
No, that's fantastic. You gotta love that.
But then I'm growing Laurentian rutabagas, so better than turnips. You can eat a rutabaga like an apple, I think.
Yeah, I like rutabagas. They're yummy.
Then let's see right here.
Did-
I've got my carrot. I'm excited about carrots. I like carrots. So I've got tender sweets, which are supposed to be very good. I grew those the other year. I liked them, thought they were good. I made the mistake of I wanted to try planting them in pots first and then transplanting them. The plants themselves were healthy. I didn't get a lot of good root action, and you actually just had a YouTube video out about your experiments with that. My experiments returned the same results. The carrots that I direct seeded were bigger and tasted about the same.
Yeah.
The only
the best.
The only difference was my ones that the ones that I planted and transplanted, they were able, because they had that head start, they had about a month head start on everything else. And so they were sweeter because they had a month head start, I think is my going theory. Then I got Danvers 126 and Imperator 58, which are two of the good old standby orange carrots.
Yeah, those are good carrots.
So I like those myself. The question for you: when we're working with a heavy detritus sphere instead of traditional soils, how do you recommend planting your carrots?
You either have to have a detritus sphere that's melted down good into just a compost. If you have a thick, undecomposed detritus sphere, you're gonna have to transplant them with a paper pot. But what? You just have a thick detritus sphere of good sifted compost, and it's just like the dirt. It's just like soil, so that's fine. So if you're gonna be a carrot person and need a big carrot patch, then you need to be starting with a finished compost when you put down your detritus sphere.
Okay. What do you think about doing mounds and divots, where you kind of take a flat detritus sphere and you kind of mound it up and then plant in the divots in between down below where your detritus sphere would be?
Yeah, that's fine.
Would that be an acceptable thing, or is that going to really screw with everything?
No, it's fine. You just have to have good water contact so the carrot seeds stay wet. That's the point.
Okay. Cool. Then I got some fun carrots as well. So I got the Lila Lusang,
Nice.
which is purple skinned yellow cord carrots.
Hold on, put that back up. Hold it down more so we can see the name. There you go. Yeah, thanks.
Then I got the Pusa Sita Black, which are purple close to black the whole way through. So they're going to be just full of antioxidants and good stuff.
You're gonna bring these seeds up here. I want about 5 seeds of every variety you've shown me.
Okay.
I want to raise seed from those.
Say what?
I'm gonna plant those and get seeds from them.
Good. Then I got Manpukuju.
Oh yeah, that's the longest carrot in the world, as far as I know.
Yeah, they're big. I kind of want to get a big 5-gallon drum, fill it with sand, and grow them like I'm doing a competition, where you just water from the bottom and let it drain out, so the carrot has to dive for water, so you get this 4-foot long carrot. I think that'd be cool. If I did something like that, say in a 50-gallon drum, where it's 3 feet across, how many carrots do you think I could grow in one of those?
I would limit it to maybe 10 maximum.
10? Okay,
Maybe
yeah, that's actually
5.
more than I was thinking.
5 would be better, because then you're gonna really maximize the opportunity for that carrot to do its thing. You don't want to shade any of the leaves.
Oh yeah,
You need as much photosynthesis as you can get.
cool. Yeah, no, that's good.
And
when
you're probably going to want to feed it commercial fertilizer. I normally never say that to people, because I'm sort of against that. But for that context, if you just want to grow an exhibition plant, commercial fertilizers will generally grow the biggest, best plants. Now, they won't grow you the best nutrition, and that's why I'm against it.
Well, and the other thing is, in the context of growing it basically in a barrel of sand, just with one line of good compost directly below the carrot, there's not a lot of nutrition in the soil anyway. So, I think it's a good trade-off to introduce it. Then the next thing on my list is lemon balm. Love lemon balm, and I'm excited to actually start growing it. It's great stuff. Then I've got, we're kind of into herbs here. Let me see if I can pull these out. Oh, I forgot about these. I got some little saute and stir fry.
Nice. Yeah, those are good squashes.
I love these. Then I've got some Genovese and red Reuben basil. Love basil. Very good. Nothing better than a basil mozzarella chicken breast. And so growing some of that. Well, I did have one really interesting thing happen the other year. I grew my basil and my cucurbits right together, like really close proximity. Like, you couldn't walk through them because they were so close together. And the cucurbits that were all in amongst the basil had almost no squash bugs on them.
Oh, that's good.
Then the next year, I didn't grow any basil, and everything was killed by squash bugs. It was a plague, man.
Well, you better have a lot of basil this year and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it again. Because the first year I'm like, oh, I don't know what everybody's talking about. Squash bugs aren't that big of a deal. And the next year, it was like, man, it was like I had Hebrew slaves and Moses was coming to send plagues at me. Oh, it was bad.
See,
but then I have dill seeds. These are from your garden, so I expect good things of them. Let's see here. I have a whole bunch of beans. I have a bunch of Lofthouse beans. Got garbanzo beans from Joseph.
Nice.
Got Scarlet Runner beans from Joseph. These are my Scarlet Runner beans from you. Got some Anasazi cave beans. Got mullein seed. I'm excited about that. I've never actually, this is also from Joseph. I've never grown mullein myself. We used to find it wild all the time and chew on it, but then this right here is actually a cover crop blend that I wanted to put in like August, and then I forgot about it, and it was in the bottom of the box. So I'm doing that next year.
What's in it?
It's a My Mustard Trifecta Flour Blend.
Read me the species that are in there. It doesn't say.
No, it just says Brassica juncea.
We'll open it and hold up some seeds, and I'll tell you what they are. If I can see them.
Should have brought my other camera.
Oh yeah, they all look like brassicas. You have different kinds of mustards, turnips, and kales, probably.
Filling mustard seeds all over my computer. They're gonna grow into trees.
Yeah, anyway. You probably have like a why did you get it? What was it for?
I wanted a cover crop before I knew that I was growing kale that had lived through the winter. And then I grew kale that had lived through the winter, and it became a moot point because I was growing my own cover crop seeds.
Nice.
So I didn't forget to have a cover crop. I just used something else and forgot about these. Just to clarify, so you don't think I'm a heathen who's forgotten everything that you teach. Then I have spicy globe basil that I got from you. I have Imperial Star artichoke, which I don't know how to grow. Do you have advice?
Start them in January. One seed per trad. Put them in a bigger plug, like a
4-inch?
Well, yeah, maybe it's 2-inch to 4-inch pot. One seed per pot. And then the frost will kill them. So you need to grow them for a while and then put them outside. If the weather report is saying that you're gonna have about 5 to 10 days of cool weather, like right around freezing, 30, like 28 to 35 at night, that's the perfect time to put them outside and let them get really cold so they're just barely freezing, but not, you don't want to go below 28 degrees. And then they'll think they went through a winter if you can keep them out there for about 10 days. And then bring them back in the house until the weather is settled, so it's not going to freeze, and then go ahead and transplant them outside, and that will make sure that they all grow, because they'll think that was winter, so it's forcing them to grow a bulb.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to try that. I didn't realize they required a frost like that. Here I was going to just direct seed them in May.
Yeah, you want to plant them now or they won't have time to grow a bulb.
Okay.
I'm just calling it a bulb, but it's the flower.
The flower, yeah,
The
no, I
flower
got
bud that's up above. Yeah.
Then I have mystery melon seeds from Mr. Lofthouse. I
Nice.
don't know what they are. I don't know how long they are supposed to grow.
They look like cantaloupes.
They do look like a cantaloupe, maybe a muskmelon.
Bring me those. I'll grow them here.
Okay, I'll bring some to share.
Because his growing conditions are the same as mine.
Oh, nice.
We're both in a high mountain valley, high elevation, 80-day growing season. High desert.
And that's about it. Everything else I have here are all just field grains. I do have a couple of varieties of pumpkins I'm going to try and grow. I got some up from you up there. I got some of that one that you thought tasted really good. So I'm excited for that. And you made a harvest of that big old pumpkin up there. So I'm hoping I can get a big old pumpkin or 4 or 5 or 10 down here.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Good. No, that's good. Sounds exciting. Sounds like you got some fun things.
Yeah. Then one last question I had for you with my field grains, things that you're supposed to spring wheats. When do you plant those? Because I know that winter wheat you plant in August or September, and then spring wheats and similar you're supposed to plant later, but I don't know, because I know that if you wait till after your frost, it's too late. When are you supposed to plant them?
Anytime after January, as soon as you can get it in the ground.
Okay, because honestly, with how the weather patterns have been around here lately, we tend to be getting most of our moisture in the spring in rain, and we're not getting as much snow anymore. It snowed once here, and that snow is all gone now. So would it be inappropriate to plant it now?
No, if you can get out there and plant it now, go ahead.
Okay.
It's not going to
Okay.
sprout and come up until it wants to. Well,
Perfect.
I mean, you know, if you think you might get some below zero weather, you better not. You might want to
I
wait
should.
till February.
It only rarely gets to zero here. It might get to zero, but it doesn't happen every year. And this has been a warm winter.
I don't know. You better wait till February, or I mean, yeah, February 15th, and then plant.
And how much detritus can this handle?
What? Just like any of your grains?
Yeah,
Most of them don't like very much because they've been bred for so many years in tilled soils that's what they're used to growing in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've adapted to heavy tillage for thousands of years.
Now I have some seeds from my winter wheat that I planted, and the only place I planted it was there wasn't even any soil in it. I just put down in the spring 1 foot of just straw, and then I spread chicken feed over it to help it break down, get the protein in there and the bacteria working. Now it's gone down, it's only 3 inches, so it's shrunk considerably. And I planted winter wheat in that while it was still just straw. And I had 12 stalks of winter wheat come up and do pretty good. And around those, I had very, very heavy mats of fungus, and it smelled like a forest floor. And I saved all of those seeds that did really well in that heavy detritus. So I'm excited to try those.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, whatever conditions you're growing in, those are the seeds you want to be saving year after year, and they will adapt to your conditions. So
cool. Well, that's about all that I have. Did you have any questions or anything?
No, I'm just excited. Thanks for sharing your seeds. It's pretty exciting. Are you going to order more seeds, or are you done?
No, probably not going to order anymore. I do have some corn that's still on the way, but I'm not going to order anymore. I also got some bare root grape starts, but those don't arrive for quite some time.
You ought to get some Hopi corn. I think you could grow it where you are with no irrigation.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
So would irrigation hurt it? Because I do irrigate most.
No, it won't hurt it at all. It's just that the Hopis grow all that stuff down there with no irrigation. It's awesome. It doesn't mean they don't have water, because they do have water, but they don't irrigate. They just let Mother Nature do it with rain and blah, 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 snow melt. So it has adapted to those conditions over the hundreds of years that they've been doing it. So it's pretty awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking me through it. I love you, Pop.
Super cool. Okay, bye.
Bye.